Apparently, we're going live again. Apparently, here we are. Once again. It's that special time where we get together. So, we got, let's zoom in a little bit. There's no one in the chat yet, so I'm just talking to myself. But that's okay because we get along so well. I don't know if people watch these shows. They're just kind of my way to, it's like a reward at the end of the day, to be honest, you know. Get on here, hang out with some fans, have some conversations. I don't have quite the social life that I used to. I think part of it too is winter, like I just wasn't going out as much. There's certain friend groups that are kind of like stuck in that same old, where they just drink and complain about shit. And it's very tiresome. It's very like, okay, you know, you need to get exhausted of that shit after a while. Not the healthiest thing to be around, you know. I'm trying to think if I want to put a background in these two right here. Just seems kind of wacky. Molly McKigan is here. That is so good. Well, golly gee, Molly, that is very kind of you. And since you are new to the channel, I will give you a special art show. Give you a little look at some of the pages for this story. I don't believe you've ever been here before, unless you just lurk during the shows, but I'll give you a peek at some of the artwork. Are you an artist, Molly? What a beautiful Irish name, Molly McKigan. That there is a good Irish girl right there. Lovely, lovely. Just a fine Irish lass. So, yeah, this is a pretty exciting story. There's a lot going on. I do drawings, excellent. Yoshi is here. Yoshi Plays, official, nice. We got a big old question mark from Mr. Yoshi. Yoshi, are you Japanese? Because Yoshi is a Japanese name. Nihongo o hanashimasu ka? Because I lived in Japan for a year, and I don't really speak Japanese. I do a really funny Japanese accent, though, which my friends love. Did you draw that? Yes, these are my comics. And since you guys are new to the channel, what I'm doing is just kind of showing you some pages, you know, to get you acquainted with what I do. I've just subscribed. Thank you so much. Molly McKagan. I love that name, Molly. Just a quick question. Are you blonde, red hair, or brunette? Just curious. Anyway, so Yoshi, is Yoshi because you're like a manga fan, or because you're actually Japanese? I had a friend in college who was a Japanese exchange student, and his name was Yoshi. And then we were good buddies. We're both in the art department, and so we connected very well as artists. And I draw anime. Oh, neat. Okay. Yoshi says, and I love drawing. I just did a doodle stream yesterday. Ah, cool, man. Brown hair. Okay. Um, no, I'm not Japanese. I just like the Yoshi from Mario. Ah, that's what it is. Got it. Got it. Okie dokie. So yeah, this is. What do you think of this stuff, guys? Am I ready for Marvel Comics? Do you think they'll hire me? Got some fun stuff going on here. The show is really mostly adults, though. We have a lot of political conversations, hot topics. We get into spiritual matters. I share a lot of my personal life stories, things that I've done, accomplishments. We can get into some pretty spicy territory with you know political topics that are very taboo, stretching the boundaries of free speech, if you will. Yeah. How long did it take you to draw all of that? Well, this is not even the entire book, plus other books that I've done or I'm working on. One page. So you have to write it, you design it, you do the storyboards, and then you pencil it, and then you ink it. So all of that combined, gosh, it varies. I mean, some pages are super detailed and some are not. So, but I'm gonna say that that's like 5 to 10 hours. Like it's roughly between 5 to 10 hours. It's pretty much a standard answer I could give you. Matt W's here. You still need a villain called Shit Mainer. That's funny. Shit Main. Oh shit Main. Uh, Eli Campbell is here, and he knows Molly somehow. How we doing, Eli? Did you see the show? I just gave like a huge show of my pages. I always like to show new people my work because I figure if you're new, you got to get to know what I do, and then what are you here for, Give you a sense of what's going down in town, A little feeling for the story here. You like anime? Anime is animation and manga is comics. So when people say anime, I the meaning of it is the Japanese cartoon movies. So just to make that clear. So, and do I like anime? Some yes and some no. So my brother's a massive anime fan. He collects that, and it's just not so much on my radar. I did live in Japan for a year, but I'm deeply interested in traditional Japanese culture, things like Zen Buddhism, literature, art, like classical art, stuff like that. Staying off the grid is here. Look at okay, that's charming. Hit the like, friends. Yes, sirree. So, yeah, I mean, this dude right here he represents like the cabal. Do you guys know about the Zionist cabal that rules the world and drinks children's blood? So that's the bad guy of the movie. So you can't you can't have a bad guy unless you show him doing bad things, like killing children and drinking their blood, for example. That's pretty damn bad. That's pretty low. So anyway, this is some other pages from the story. A lot of action in this, a lot of superhero action. So, what is your favorite place on planet Earth? Let's see. Hippocratic oath, but you skipped language class. Make ancestor cry. What's yours? So, my favorite place in Japan? that would definitely be Kyoto. Kyoto is one of the ancient capitals of Japan, and believe it or not, the I don't know who it was, but somebody convinced the U.S. government not to bomb it in World War II because of the historic value and treasures, architecture, all of this stuff. So that was awfully nice of the U.S. not to bomb Kyoto in World War II. So yeah, that's what it is, fam. So I'm gonna work and talk and check up on the chat, see what you guys are talking about. Just for your information, I do set this chat to, you know, just for adults, and so I don't know how old a lot of you guys are. I've been getting a lot of young folks visiting the channel, and I used to be an art teacher, so I've worked with young folks for many years, and did a lot of cool stuff, a lot of fun. But this is, it's my space on YouTube, and I want to be free to talk about whatever, So just putting that out there, and that's what it is. So there you go, and now you know. I think if we were to really get into some heavy political convo, then probably a lot of people would leave, you know. But anyway, so yeah, moving on, getting a few things done here. So I just spent most of the day slogging on a computer, and I'm like super burned out. I've got computer burnout. I don't know if you guys ever get that, And it took me all day to like accomplish this certain task, and and then at the very end of it, something didn't like work the way it was supposed to work, and I kind of like rage quit. You know what I mean? Did you ever rage quit? Your projects or whatever. So I'm like, shoot, I'm done. I gotta get over here and do some artwork. Get away from the damn computer for a while, So here I am, hanging out, doing some cool artwork. I gotta catch up on the page I was doing. Now this is a penciled page. It's got some architecture on it. Should I do this one? Let's read. I'm gonna read some comments and catch up. What pens do you use? I get that question all the time. They're basically like Japanese brushes. They're like marker brushes, so you can get them at your local art store. I'm gonna get back to the chat here. I'm trying to read your comments and catch up. I'm going to go now. Okay. I wish FDR got a call about Dresden. Oh God. Oh dude. Ooh, that one hurt. That one hurt. That hurt, dude. You right in the feels, bro. That was a rough one. Yeah, damn, dude. Hippocratic Hook is here. Hello, Hook. How you doing? He's the one who was calling for civilian population bombings. This fucking scumbag. FDR is a piece of shit, just like Churchill. These people were shit. Rosenfeld was his family original name. He was a Jew. You're fucking kidding me. I didn't know that. You're fucking kidding me. Fuck, dude. Oh, now I'm like fucking pissed. Now I'm like super fucking pissed right now. That makes me furious, dude. I didn't know that. Holy shit. That's heavy. That is some. Now I'm all like angry. Oh God. Speaking of Jews, our friend, what's his fucking name? Ben Shapiro, being a complete cunt about the JFK files. Running what do you call that? interference, like, oh, all those conspiracy theories and oh, conspiracy theory. I think I don't know. I mean, I keep liking to think that it's cat's out of the bag and it's over and the goyim know and shit, but like I know we're still fairly far from that because people trust the media too much and all the rest of that shit. But you do have to say that it's pretty astonishing kind of how far we've come and how the Overton window is moving and all that stuff. So those are things to kind of celebrate, my goys. Let's get to it. What do we got? Molly says, well, I read that. Hook says they claim, oh, he was related to the Roosevelts, the real ones, but that was through marriage, not blood. I'm going to have to look this up. Oaf says, funny how the Roosevelts came to power starting with Teddy after McKinley was assassinated. Whatever could be the connection? Yeah, and the whole McKinley's assassination. I know all I've read is that the guy who killed him was a Polish anarchist. So I never checked to see what his religion was, though, if you know what I'm getting at. By the way, little Easter egg. This little handshake that they're doing right here is a Freemason handshake. You heard it here on Donald Kenbart. So now you know. Moving on, the Japanese were fighting communism from the east, and the Germans fought it from the west, and the USA stopped them. Yeah, it's fucking filthy. It's the whole thing is just so fucking filthy. And like to think about how we grew up propagandized to think that we're the heroes, that the US is the heroes of World War II, and like it's so deeply ingrained into our psyche, our cultural identity, that oh yeah, the heroes of world, America number one, America number one, and then to finally figure out like the truth of the whole fucking thing and be just so heartbroken, and of course to tie all of that together and see how, if Uncle A had won, we would not be in the shit show that we're in now. There's different things I could say on that topic. You know, it's not like a copium thing, but I do genuinely feel that the younger generations are pretty much gonna do the deed, without saying anything that would get me kicked off of YouTube. I feel like it's kind of the perfect storm. Of course, what we're fighting against now, the technology that's being used against us, is so much more sophisticated. It's hard, it's a hard thing, but I still have hope. I still have hope. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Sorry, Ben Shapiro. I have not lost hope yet, you piece of shit. Fucking. The whole, I don't know, I just don't want to go there. It's because it's just all like anger, like the guy just, when you know that he's lying and that he's like obfuscating and running interference and all this stuff, like your hatred for him just like grows and grows and grows. It's like a weed, because you know what he's doing, you know what he's about, and you're like, I can't believe that I ever thought this guy was anything. I actually saw him speak at a university. This is back during the Trump time. Um, Teddy is one of what I need to look into. I stick to 1890s to modern day. Fascinating. Well, it's good. Thanks for bringing that to the table. Matt W. says, my grandfather was from a city nearby Dresden that was also firebombed. Terrible. He lies. All lies are the great Satan. Very, very true. Synagogue of Satan, I believe it's called. 1 hour into watching Hailstorm said otherwise. Hellstorm? Sorry, I. How come I don't know that? I guess that's a documentary about Dresden, probably. Hellstorm is brutal. Such a good one. He's talking about baking cookies naturally. Molly says, I don't trust AI. Interesting. Um, that's a rabbit hole for sure. Let's see. Hook had my eyes tearing up. Yeah, yeah. Oh, God, I'll bet. You saw Kissinger and Shapiro? Wow. I have a weird kind of karma for like, and Steve Bannon. You know, it's like, you know, I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like, is there something here? Is there a meaning to this? Like, you know, me actually physically meeting these people. It's, you know, kind of like Bill Clinton met JFK in his when he was young. Sorry, that's a terrible analogy. I'm totally joking. Um, no, you cannot compare Donald Kent to Bill Clinton. Um, of this weird and funny. Anyway, yeah, I can't say that I don't think about stuff like that. You know, that I don't think like, what does it mean? You know, like that's, I feel like I'm always just, you know, a day late and a dollar short, kind of like everything's sort of so close. But my feeling is that how do I put it? Like, it's inevitable. It's all coming together. It will be, how do I put it? Like, my fate, my destiny is, it's timed out, and I can see it gradually unfolding. And then when, you know, when the time's right, you know, I'll strike, so to speak. You know, like it'll all come together. So it's really more of a like a God's plan kind of thing. Like, we just kind of hang tight and keep doing what I'm doing, and it's gonna come together. You know, one of the important things is to not fall for dumb shit. Not waste my time chasing after stupid shit that doesn't lead anywhere. There's a fair amount of temptation for those kind of things out there. And there's always people that want to like take you down a rabbit hole of like, you know, wasting your resources and re-guiding you on some sort of journey to nowhere. You know what I mean? And I don't know, when people see that you have abilities like I do, and they're jealous or threatened by it, then they'll try to come up with like, you know, I say rabbit holes, but I mean like, I don't know, what is their name for this? Like, you know, make sure he doesn't do the X, so lead him to Y, you know, whatever the fuck that is, you know. But I think you kind of know what I'm getting at, you know. So over the years, I think like I've met and known a lot of people that wasted my time and resources, and I think I finally have a kind of a sense for that, you know. People who pretend to be friends, you know, and they're really not, you know. And it's hard to say, like, what motivates somebody to be that kind of person, you know. It's a little disturbing to think about, but anyway. Doodly doo. Moving on, what do we got? I followed Europa and Hellstorm. I full on man cried at least 10 times. Wow, bro, that's heavy, man. That's some heavy shit. I don't want to look at these Jews anymore. I'm gonna get back to doing some other stuff. Um, it took me days to watch them because I kept going back and verifying. Wow. Hellstorm is on Dresden. Get Kleenex. It's detailed. Ugh. Oh, that's rough. That's rough. Very rough. Speaking of rough, we're gonna be inking this horrible scene right here. It's very gory. Um, so, change the topic a little bit. The director came over last night, and we had a really good, detailed discussion about the film project. Um, you guys know about the film project that I'm helping him out with, and I'll be not applying for, what's it called, auditioning for. He last night in our conversation, he was more convinced that I would actually be right for a certain role in there. But we did have to come to the reality that if I do this as Donald Kent, then now I become, how do I put, I become a liability to him. The film world is profoundly liberal. Um, he's already got money from donors and stuff that are investing in this project. And, if they were to find out that, an evil, terrible, bad white supremacist Nazi was a part of the project in some way, then you could see how that could hurt his career. Obviously, I'm joking when I say those things. I'm not evil. What else? So I would have to do it under my normie name, John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. So that would, then I would not be able to associate my acting or connect my acting career, with 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 the Donald Kent content. So I think I'm still going to be a part of the film in some way. I guess I don't really know for sure, but I'm like I'm going to do storyboarding. I'm helping him with the script. You see what I'm saying? So I am a part of it already. In many ways, I'm sort of like an advisor because, like, he, he comes to me. Trust me, he knows that I have the right aesthetic mindset or whatever, da da da. And like, we went pretty deep last night into the script concept, you know, all the details, and then I just, kind of acted like, all right, if you want to make this statement, then you have to first establish this situation. You have to establish, say, the relationship between these characters, or what kind of person is this kind of person, or rather this character. Like, why would he or she do that thing? How is the audience going to feel about that thing? What is the goal? All of those kinds of things. And helped him to work out the bugs. You know what I'm saying? So that he was like, oh shit, yeah, this and that and the other thing. Um, and it helped anyway. It all worked out. It was a good session, good talk. Um, a lot of fun. I mean, I'm really really into the arts. I'm really into film. And it's very exciting. It's a very very exciting thing to do. Um, to be honest, this is talk about exciting. He he was saying like in the future he definitely does want to make a film like the about me, like a film about me, like a documentary about me. And I was so thrilled. And but the his concept is the double life of like a guy that goes to like a raver who goes to house music clubs in the night, and then in the day is does this like white identity political stuff, you know. And he's like, that would be a huge hit, and according to his thinking, you know. And I'm like, you know what? It's fresh, it's different, it's unique. There would definitely be a positive message to it because it's like it destroys the illusion of the Nazi narrative that, you know, the left is constantly pushing, the Jews are constantly pushing, and I think you can kind of put it together. You know, I hope you can kind of conceive of that. So, yeah, I don't know. That thrilled me. Obviously, I mean, I can't deny I was really like, oh my god, that would be so awesome. He's pretty serious about it. How, when, if, you know, it's, you know, that remains to be seen. But I did explain to him, like, you know, honestly, the way the Overton window is moving, in a year or 2 years from now, that might actually work. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, like, audiences might not be ready right now, but things are changing, dude. Things are changing. And then more than that, it's also like the audiences, like the, you know, what, you know, like a younger audience, I think would be maybe more tuned into that or something. It's just something interesting to think about, you know. I think so. And this is a really gory image I got going on here. Sorry about the gore. This is what's happening in this scene. All that music in the background. Jazzaroonie. I guess I'll catch up on the chat a bit. Meh is here. It's amazing. You deserve a lot more attention. That is a really kind thing for you to say. And what's crazy is that I hear that all the time. Every time somebody is new to my channel, they're like, holy shit, where did you come from? You know, and then they're like, man, like, it's too bad you don't get more attention. And I'm like, you know, that kind of, I appreciate the kindness that you say that, but it also sort of hurts in a way, right? Because it's like, yeah, fuck, I wish I did have, you know, more notoriety or some shit. But it's coming, it's coming. It'll, you know, it's just taking so fucking long, though. That's the problem with it. But anyway, just giving you a little show, you know. Check out my work here. Oh, poor sheepdog, man. I know, I feel terrible about that. It's you do get, I don't know what the word is, you do care about the characters, like you develop a kind of relationship with them, and it like I don't want to do that. It kind of hurts to do that, but I'm, in a sense, it's like I'm brutalizing the audience, you know. Okay, here's the scene where like sheepdog got injured in the superhero fight, and there's that bitch that like kills him later, and she's like, oh yeah, don't take him to a hospital, take him to headquarters, because I'm gonna, and then she's like, okay, don't die on me, I got some questions for you, you know. And then chit chat, this and that, talkie, and she's kind of bitching out the other guys on the team. They're like, hey, something, and they have a little face off, they're fighting, black people yelling at each other. And then there's this other scene where militiaman's trying to put out a fire on a church, but there's these Muslim guys that are just gloating over it, and they're laughing, ha ha ha, you know, that church is burning and we shall take over your country, you know. And so it's a really, you know, I'm showing and saying things in this story. There's the burning church that you know, like, the Jewish controlled media does not allow this, you know. Like, I'm probably gonna be like unalived at some point for doing this, but my art will live on forever. Woo! All right, shut up, get back to work. Shut up and draw. Gondon Arts is here. Welcome, Gondon Arts. Broccoli Man is the new supervillain. Yes, I know. No wonder kids hate their broccoli. Anyway, it's amazing. You deserve a lot more time. That's that point. I'm going to go back a little bit into the chat to see what you guys are talking about. Try to catch up a bit. Oh, not too much. Okay. Couldn't finish. Da, da, da. Yeah, bro, I'm excited for you. Can't wait to see a trailer. Your new acting name, Kennel Kennel Dent. No one will know. Ha ha ha! What a great plan we've got here, Kennel Dent. Yeah, no, I actually made a well. I'll just say like I had this joke that I'm talking to my buddy, the film director, and we're discussing like what name would you if you get into film this and that, what name are you going to use, and everything I was just explaining to you. And I said, oh well, no, this is what I'll do. I'll use the Donald Kent, but then when I'm at Cannes Film Festival with you or whatever, then I'll just talk like this, and I'll say, yeah, right, so it's a really and I just like use like an English accent and pretend like somebody else. I don't know. It was funny at the time. Had to be there, I guess. But the idea was to create a fiction of who I am and make it look. I think you guys get the idea. Have you ever seen like interviews with Christian Bale, and like he's using an American accent in the interview? Have you ever seen that? It's kind of weird. Like before I don't know, when he was coming up, I guess as an actor, he would do shit like that. And I'm like, is this guy, where the fuck is he from? Is he English? Is he American? I don't know. Anyway. Well, there it is, and there you go. Now you know. So like I was saying earlier, I just spent like not all day, but most of the day slogging on the computer, get this project off the ground, and I got like 90% of the way, and then like at the end, like whatever, something didn't pan out the way it was supposed to, and I was just like, I can't take this anymore. So here I am. It's one of these like I probably should be on the computer trying to fix that fucking thing, but I'm like I can't take this shit anymore. And there's only so many hours you can put into that kind of stuff, I think. Nobody will second guess that one. Yes, Sam Hyde will get the part. You know what? I I feel like Sam Hyde and I could be buds. I think like we probably have a lot of fun together. But I would love to see him in like some serious acting roles. To be honest, yeah, I know he's a comedian, but sometimes like comedians make the best actors because comedy in itself is a kind of show. It's a type of acting. I think you guys know what I'm saying. Okay, so that's coming together. Let's see, Don Kenstein. Don Kenstein. There you go. Now we're getting into my Ashkenazi roots. There you go. Like, check out what is it, Wikipedia, and double check and make sure that you guys know. I'll be sure that born from Ashkenazi parents in. Yes, my mother is a Rockefeller. Yes, yes. This music's kind of cheesy, but might change that in a minute or two. Let's It's just the benefit of not having commercials, you know. Yeah, the movie is a horror story. It's maybe a little more like I don't want to say horror, but like mm, I mean, it's not your like teenagers running through the woods with like a masked man with a chainsaw chasing after them. It's not that kind of horror, you know. It's based on a true story of this this kid that just decided he wanted to know what it felt like to kill people, and just what the fuck was wrong with this kid and why did he do it. And there's a statement there in terms of like how society produces people like this, so it's got kind of an underlying statement to it. The kid, same kind of deal, like very MK Ultra in the sense that like he grew up on like depression drugs and ADHD drugs or whatever the shit that they give these kids these days. And then divorced family and just like deeply absorbed in internet culture. But I mean, there's a lot of kids like that, and they're not murderers, So like, what is it? There's something there, you know what I mean? And so there's a fascination there. The director actually has some even deeper, more profound ideas about like the inaction of God and like where is God in stuff like this. These are deeper questions, but I don't 100% know that he's kind of able to bring that into the film. Anyway, I hit a certain point where it was like, you might not get the part, and you're gonna have to be okay with that. You don't get crushed, like don't be upset if you don't get the part. Just because you're his friend doesn't mean you automatically get the part. But we talked about just the acting process, his specific filmmaking process. It's very unique to him. It's kind of his personal aesthetic, and how he likes to work, that kind of thing. Working with other actors, and like the dynamic there. He did find a guy who's going to be the lead in the movie, and it's like like he hit the jackpot with this actor. This guy's like a young Patrick Bateman, but with like a goth type emo sort of style to him. Wow, which fits this role. Like it's like he was born for the role. It's kind of weird. But anyway, the character that I would play is actually the father of the murderer, and he's like a sort of like divorced dad. The mom left him for like another man. Working class for this, maybe like a truck driver or a mechanic or something of this nature. And he most likely has either a drinking or a drug problem. So he's not like, he's no hero, but he cares about his son. And his son is really the only thing keeping him from killing himself, pretty much, because, it's just kind of a loser, basically. And so, like, when the father discovers that the son is a murderer and is going to go to jail, it just, like, it totally destroys the father, as you can imagine. So there's some drama there for sure, you know. Um, as I'm drawing intestines, kind of weird. Um, what else do I have here? They take our last names for jobs. Why can't we do the same? You know, you got a point there. You got a good point there. Why not? Hey, you know, it's only fair. Why not? What I need though is I need to get like a nose job, you know, make my nose bigger, and that would. There you go. Where can I get like my nose extended? Sorry. So this is pretty gross. But yeah, it's stuff like this that I don't know, when you see things like that happen in a story, and especially if it's like it happens to a good guy, a hero, then it creates outrage in the audience. You know, the audience should feel angry, you know, and kind of hate the villain more, you know, for what they did, you know. So that's essentially what the arts are, is like eliciting emotion, you know, um, through drama, through fiction, you know. Of course, there's, you know, conveying meaning and statements and all of that other stuff, you know. But there it is. So, what's your take on the JFK files coming out? What do you guys think about all that? I imagine that, you know, you guys might have different thoughts on it. Part of it is the question of like how is it being handled? You know, like how are people responding to it? Um, I'm kind of shocked that it came out at all. You know, I mean, you know, I mean, like that alone is like a kind of a shock. You know, especially with like the what was it, the Epstein files were supposed to come out, and then that was just bullshit. So I thought this was just going to be more bullshit. You know. Um, but it does, as far as I can see, it does indicate Israel was behind it, which we knew that. Like you guys know that, we know that shit, you know. But for them to actually say that in public, you know, um, what's his face, Steven Crowder. I don't know if you guys saw his reaction. He was like, You could tell he was like trying to play it down and like, oh, people are so stupid, you know. And I'm like, how can you? I just don't get it, you know. But whatever. There you go. So Steven Crowder. There you go. The whole idea that like Israel's untouchable is so it's so sus. You know what I mean? It's just so sus. Like why? You know, what is it? Voltaire or somebody said like, if you want to know who rules you, then find out who you cannot criticize. You know? Yeah. This music is really stupid. I gotta change this music. Um, it's just too corny. So I'm gonna run and grab that. Maybe let you see something different, so you don't have to look at that anymore. Kind of harsh. Um, Kevin Alfred Strom said that quote. Oh, cool. That's another 100 points for Hippocratic Oath. Let's do a little yacht rock in a moment. After the commercials. Commercials. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up. Shut up. I said shut up. No, that's enough. Why do you shut your face? Commercials aren't being my existence. This is one of those commercials that forces you to watch the whole thing and doesn't let you skip. You know that one? So, oh my god, it's like a freaking Netflix series. Come on, let's go. That's enough. All right. I don't know. YouTube hates me. That's all I can tell you. It's like, you know, they're forcing another commercial down my throat, so I'll just let that pass and move on. But yeah, you guys, I'm curious. What's your take on the JFK files being released and the impact of all that? Okay. I feel like I should get some shadows in here, make it a bit more dramatic. All right, what is it? What is it? Let's see. Somebody in the White Art Collective brought up the concept of pushing Doge to take down the doxing sites. I think this is a genius idea. I think that, you know, if you're you're so-called going after, domestic terrorists, like, people who are protesting, blah blah blah, this and that, whatever. Like, why not start targeting these leftists? You know what I mean? Um, I think now would be the time to get in on that. You know what I'm saying? Um, there's been a hell of a lot of damage to a lot of people, um, because of this doxing shit. And I don't know. It seems like that would be a really, really good thing for the movement to collectively push for. Um, let's check some comments here. They take our names. I read that. Victorian is here. Hey, bud. Hi, Donald. Heard you say something about meeting with a producer or something yesterday. How did it go? I spoke about that earlier, but I'll talk about it again. Let me just read the chat a little bit, and I'll get back to this shortly. How did it go? If you don't mind us asking, you don't have to answer. Da, da, da. I want to see if Dark Journalist changes his tune from "It's all about UFO file" to the actual J question. I want to see who copes and who changes their tune. Dude, you're really onto something with that. You're really, really onto something. Because I mean, in a way, doesn't it sort of, you know, it's kind of like it's time to pick sides, folks. It's time to show where your allegiance is, right? Like Crowder coming out and being like, "Oh, it's just a coincidence, and don't make a big deal about it." Okay, okay, we see you're signed up with the Jews. We see which side you're on. Until that becomes totally mainstream and acceptable, then it'll be like, "Oh yeah, I've been saying that all along." The grifter. Um, what's his face? Cliff High. What he does is he calls them the Khazarian Mafia. That's his way, of saying the J's, which is fine. I think that he's got his own reasoning. He's like, they're ethnically not, they can't trace their ancestry from Judea, therefore they're not, how he's like a factoid man, he's just in the world of factoids. And, well, you can't call yourself a Jew because you're not from Judea, I'm like, that's kind of boomer tier thinking, in a sense, but whatever, I don't care. He's still acknowledging that it is them, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's that time, it's we're kind of hitting that time, I think. This is much too bleedy. I gotta use a different marker. So getting back to the question about the producer. So yeah, I actually spoke pretty much at length about the meeting earlier in the show. Just a recap of that essentially is that I helped him figure out the script, weak spots in the script. Sorry, I can't talk. And helped him figure out, like, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna have to do that. What's the relationship of these? So, this and that. And the other thing, one of the main problems with the whole thing is that if he does work with Donald Kent on this, he could be blacklisted. You see what I'm saying? He could be blackballed, kind of. And so there's the question that, like, I would use my normie name or even a fictional name. These guys have been helping me out to come up with, like, Jewish names that I could. That's genius, guys. That's genius. Let's come up with some good Jewish names for me so that, when people at, film festivals see, oh, that's Barry Rubenstein, or that's Nathaniel Applebaum, or that's Chaim Horowitz, or what I mean. Let's come up with. That's actually a great idea. Like, that would be so funny to troll the system. You know what I mean? And they're like, "Well, you don't look Jewish." And I'm like, "Well, it's because my mom was, but or I just said, oh, your mom was just, oh, okay, you're in the club here. We're gonna book you for a flight to Epstein Island, though. Just a quickie, just don't worry, just go, take a little break, and once we get you on film down there, then we'll give you your next big job. You can hang out with Tom Hanks and the lead singer of Red Hot Chili Peppers, and who else? Who else is down there? Ellen DeGeneres, and who else? Who else? Anyway, so I mean, it was mostly a creative conversation in terms of like, you know, he, the director was like, I want the kid in the movie to kill his dad, and that was like an idea that he had, and I'm like, okay, well, if that's the case, then the dad has to be an abuser. He has to be, because that's what fits the truth of these narratives, and this is all based on like, you know, real serial killers and their cases, and but like he also had the idea of the dad being this other kind of guy that's very likable in some ways, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, you can't have both, dude. You can't do both. It's one or the other. You gotta. And so he realized, oh shit, you're right. And I think that he's leaning towards the idea of not killing the dad and having the dad like come in at the end of the movie, come into the police station, and get the news that your son killed this, blah, 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 whatever, fill in the blanks. So you can see the dad would have like a fucking massive breakdown, finding out that shit. And he was actually quoting this one documentary where they had a father talking to his son, who, like, you have like the glass window, and they talk through the window on a phone. You're in jail now, and the kid is like, oh, I don't want to, I don't want to go to jail. And the dad's like, it's not about you anymore. It's about the families of the guy that you killed, or something. And just, it's kind of heavy stuff. It's heavy stuff. Um, the director's style is very, very aesthetic, though. It's very beautiful. He's like really, really good with photography. Um, and not only that, just like the mood of it. It's not gonna be like your standard Hollywood kind of TV show kind of shit. It'll be much, much more artistic the way he's gonna approach it. So we'll see. We'll see how it all pans out. I don't know. But I'm excited, but I'm also kind of like, don't get your hopes up. I mentioned that earlier, like, if I don't get the gig or whatever, I'll probably be kind of disappointed, but it'll be okay. Carry on. There's gonna be like a sound effect across here, like splorch or something, or zam or some pow. I mean, there'll be something. So I don't want to get super detailed and then just cover it up with a sound effect. That's stupid. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to the chat a bit. What do we got? A lot. We got a lot. Hippocratic Oath says, I want to see if. Oh, we already read that. So I haven't watched all of these shows or whatever. We're talking about Dark Journalist X, but like the term he uses is the cabal. He'll say, "Oh, the cabal this and the cabal that," and to me, I still think that's a very safe term. I don't think that actually says, even though Cabal is from Kabbalah, which is Jewish, but I don't think the average person knows that. So I don't think he's really there. But at the same time, I kind of feel like he's very calculated in his sort of marketing, if that makes sense. Um, it's like he wants, the guy's a serious journalist, but he's talking about UFOs. So people are not mentally capable of like putting those two things together. It's they think, ooh, wackadoo, it's UFOs. They don't take it serious, and it is serious. So I think he would just probably want to maintain that, to have like some journalistic integrity, and not naming them might be part of his approach on that. I don't know. I don't know. I do not. So what else? If boomers want to say Khazarian blah blah blah, I'll take it. I think Titus and Vespasian would laugh at the idea. Well, I mean, what are you gonna do? It's men are not like they were in those days, right? Crowder is Jewish himself. No shit. How the fuck did I not know that for this long? Wow. Damn, dude. That says it all. That says it all. I'm really disgusted now. I would expect him to side with his people. I want my own people to do the same. Damn, dude. Every single fucking time. Every single fucking time. That just pisses me off. And for the longest time, I didn't know that. I mean, you know how that feels when you find that shit out. It's like, it's so just, ugh. Let's see. Hippocratic Oath says you should call the ADL and tell them the director is racist against you. It's another Showa, and he'll get a call and make you the star. Then he'll get the call. Oh, yeah, I'll be like, Oy vey, it's anti-Semitic. Yeah, I'd have to. Maybe I can get like a fake ID or something. You know, Donald Kentstein. Your J name would be the guy that invented mustard gas. Really? Oh, I didn't know that guy was a J. Victorian says Frederick Guntier, the inventor of the mustard gas, as synthetic fertilizer. Synthetic fertilizer. But yet used to, torture our people in World War One. Anyway. God. So I don't know. I don't know what's the narrative here. Are we supposed to go to war with Russia? Is that coming down the pipeline? Is that the idea? I don't know. I don't see how Trump can be trying to stop Ukraine, but then want war with Russia. Like, there's a contradiction in the narrative there. All right, almost done here with this page. And then move on. Time to move on. Okay. Well, you learn something new every day. I'm really disappointed about Crowder, though, Steven Crowder. You just shake your head. I have a friend. He's technically not my friend. He's like the brother of a friend of mine, and my friend has these kind of get-togethers, sort of like a man cave hangout sessions. That's a thing. So whatever, and his brother will come once in a while, and his brother has this. He's sort of like a walking game show, and the name of the show is named The Jew. And the dude can go on forever, like, naming different actors and people that we grew up with on TV or this or that, and so and so Jew, and he just it's like the other day when he was we were talking about the band The Police, which I love. I'm a massive Police fan, and he goes Stuart Copeland, Jew, and I'm like, no, don't tell me that, So, but I still love Stewart. I almost said stupid. I still love Stuart Copeland. He's a phenomenal drummer. But then you look at like him and his brother. Like his brother is the one that basically managed the band, and they're inside the music industry, and it's just that Jewish privilege shit. It's like, granted in this case it's really like Sting, and it's a combination of the three of them that made that band amazing. But how many fucking thousands of bands of just normal white boys that never got a chance because there's no Jews in the band. And I don't know, this whole thing about like going into entertainment and controlling those things is it's a thing. I don't know, it's upsetting to me. What's really, I don't know if I told you guys this, but like in college I knew I knew a Jewish guy. It's a long story. I just cut to the chase. His dad worked with Harvey Weinstein. And, in college, I knew nothing about any of these things. I had no idea. I didn't even know that Weinstein was a Jewish name. None of this was on my radar. But I was a musician, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of look at that. I'm like, like had I been in a band at the time or something, like, I could have shown him like a demo and maybe got a record deal or some kind of thing like that. But obviously there's that whole like, yeah, but it's fucking Harvey Weinstein. And so it's just like there's a side of every musician, artist, what have you, that's like, I want to I want to go pro, or I want to be famous, or I want to be successful, I want to get in the industry. But then when you know the fucking shit that goes on in the industry, it's like, you know what, I don't think I do. Like you got to figure every fucking actor in Hollywood knows. They all know. They all know. I mean, you have the few that came out and tried to say something. Who's that? Like the Goonies kid or whatever. There's different people that come forward and they try to say, there's Hollywood is filled with pedophiles and this and that, whatever. But then they get unalived or otherwise sort of like ridiculed or something. Anyway, crazy times. Crazy times. So I think that's gonna be it for this page for now. Still not sure about the background up here in those panels, but let's see. Oops. Time Traveler says, I remember Crowder all the way back to 2007. Me too, dude. I remember when he was just like a smart-ass college kid, like going out and trolling feminists in a parade or something. And I didn't know that before he had it, he like made a show with like a high-end studio, and like a staff. Like, how do you go from being just like a sort of a college kid bum to that overnight? Anyway, he made videos about Jewish gangsters beating up Palestinians. That I didn't know. That's fucked up. Brad Pitt, is that my new acting name? Oh, I don't know why you're mentioning Brad Pitt. Anyway, the Coreys. Oh, yeah. That's correct about the Corey. Corey Feldman. Isn't that a Jewish name? Feldman? What the fuck? Anyway, I'm sick of looking at this page. I gotta get something else going on here. Maybe to get back to. um, I'm in a kind of a sort of a lull in the story where most of the next pages are just like people talking kind of shit, you know. Actually, this is the next page. Or no, is that? Yeah. They try to. They kind of. They try to stop her from killing Sheepdog, and she attacks them, as you can see above. But then Sheepdog kind of, he starts transforming into this monster, and then she kills him. That's pretty much the sequence of these 2 pages here. But I could work on this one a bit, I guess. All right. Yes, Feldman is a Jewish name. My study partner in high school was a Feldman. Parents had that crazy accent. Yeah. I was friends with a good bunch of Jewish people in college. It never was a thing that was just like, yeah, you're Jewish, so what, and you just whatever. Although there was one very weird experience. I was in Japan, and it was like during the kind of the Christmas holiday season, and where all the foreign students came back to the dorm. There was like a big dorm building where we all stayed for, I don't know, 2 weeks or something, and then got new homestay families. Anyway, pardon me. So all the foreigners are in there, and it's holiday, and we're just kind of cooking and eating and hanging out and watching TV and going traveling and doing vacation-y stuff, and sharing stories about how was your homestay family or whatever. And so it was a neat kind of social environment. And they had like this huge kitchen where you would go to, cook your meals and stuff. They didn't have like a cafeteria. You actually had to go buy your food at the local supermarket and then like cook up your own foods and stuff. So anyway, I see that there's like a not a commotion, but there's a big conversation going on in there, and they're not fighting, but they're arguing, kind of, and you can just hear the tone of voice, and something's going on. So I'm fascinated, like, what are they talking about? So I head in there, and there's this one guy, he's a Jewish student. He's not like the sniveling beta male kind of guy. He's more like the type of guy that's gonna get like a top position at a corporation or something, like that kind of guy. And he's basically explaining to everybody that he's not Jewish. And there's other Jewish people there in the cafeteria talking with him, and they're saying, you can't say that. Like that's just like you are. You can't just say you're not. And he's like, no, I'm not. I'd like deny it. It's not part of who I am. And then everybody got in on it, like, and I even got in on it. I'm like, dude, I was, like, we didn't look at it like a Jewish thing, but more as like an ethnic thing. And the idea was like, I'm like, I'm white. Why would I deny that I'm white? Like, even if I didn't like being white, I can't just say that I'm not white. That's stupid. It's just fucking untrue. Like, and it was just weird in the regard of like, why the hell would this guy say that? Like, why would he not want to be Jewish? Why would he deny that part of himself? I had no idea at all. What that was about. It fascinated me. I thought it was like kind of bizarre. Like, why are you doing this? And I thought more in terms of like, he hates his own family, he hates his own culture. I have no idea why, but I don't know. It's kind of looking back years later. It was kind of an interesting thing to witness. You know what I'm saying? Of course, the other Jews had a kind of a heyday with him. They really got upset at him, you know, for saying those things. Um, yeah. So whatever. That was a thing. There was this other Jew at the school. This is when I'm an exchange student in Japan, and he was from England. He's kind of an odd-looking bloke. He had broken his nose. He was into karate. He was like really into karate, and you know he came to Japan and learn Japanese and do karate and stuff. And there was this other guy at the school doing karate. You can imagine there were a lot of guys that do karate that came on the program. You know, it was like a big part of the program. And this dude was like, he was might have been Canadian. He was a white guy, very fit, very good at karate, and he was sparring with the Jewish guy, and he you know how I've talked about this multiple times in sparring, how you kind of pull your punches because otherwise you're going to break somebody's bones, or you're going to do, you're going to do damage to somebody, and he pulled some kind of kick on the Jewish guy and effectively beat him in the sparring session in class. And so when he kind of pulled back from the kick and it was like, okay, this is over, then the Jewish guy flew in on him with like a dirty move where he did like a roundhouse kick to his ribs and broke the guy's ribs. And it's just a straight up like, you dirty piece of shit, like that's like so against the culture and the, you know etiquette of Japanese karate, and very, very, very low move, and broke his ribs, man. I mean, it wasn't like he didn't just hit the guy, like he fucking broke his ribs with these roundhouse kicks are no joke, man. I mean, they're spinning backwards, swing around. I mean, you can really, really, really hurt somebody. So like the white guy, he had to wear a brace for the next month or two or something or other, and after I found out about that, because I knew this Jewish guy, and I was kind of friendly with him. I'm friendly with everybody, so it's not like anything new. And I really looked at him like, you fucking cunt, like you're a bastard, you're you piece of shit, what a shitty fucking move, um, and I don't know, I just remember being in the cafeteria one time. He was there, and he was in this really weird, kind of dark mood, and he was just looking at me with this grave look on his face, like nothing matters, and there's no God, and there's no hope, and blah 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 blah. Blah. And I'm looking at him like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Something is deeply, deeply wrong inside your head and your heart. And I just walked away, like, don't talk to me. Like, get the fuck away from me. Like, you're weird. And I don't know. And so, like, these are the experiences that I have accumulated. No, I had some very, very good Jewish friends in other cases, though. Gautam Dutta Arts is here. Hello, Gautam Dutta. Working on some comic books. So let's go back and read the chat. Victorian says, of course, Ricky Germain. Ricky Germain? Wait a minute. And Mel Gibson. You're telling me Mel Gibson is Jewish? Are you telling me that? Ricky Gervain, whatever. I could believe, but not Mel Gibson. No way. I'm referring to people in Hollywood who have spoken out. Oh, I'm sorry. How about read the damn comment first? Who have spoken out against pedo groomers. Brad Pitt is definitely not Jewish. Yeah, obviously. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, I should have read the comment. Yes, of course. Okay, Robert Piles here. Hey, buddy. Hippocratic Oath says maybe he wants to go crypto Jew in the tunnels, so to speak. Yeah, right. Victorian says, I might have some stories best not told publicly. Yeah, I know. Damn it, no. Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Pardon my. I know. I misspoke there. Sorry, bud. Um, but yeah. Moving on. Moving on. Um, all right. I think I gotta get the brush for this one here. It's okay. Yeah, this is stupid. I just finished reading the comic. You know. Hey, Tox is back. Hey, hey. How y'all doing? Yep. We are here, cruising along. Another chat session. Um, so do you guys think that releasing our JFK files is gonna do anything? Do you feel like I mean, it's, there's that meme of like nothing ever happens, But do you see any change? Do you see anything positive coming out of that? You know, I would say that like the damage that JFK's assassination did to America is probably irrevocable. It's so the scale on how deeply damaging that was to America is gonna be felt forever, basically, as long as this country is still around. Um, of course, the things he was trying to accomplish, the things that they stopped him from doing, um, but also the sense of nationhood, the sense of identity under under him. It's, I don't know. I mean, it's just, you know what I'm trying to say. Like, I really feel like this is a really, really fucking huge thing that people can't even conceive of. It's sort of like, if, let's say, your mother died at birth and you never knew her, you can't really understand the person you could have been. Do you see what I'm trying to say? So, like, who could we have been had JFK lived? You know what I mean? I think we would have been a better country. Obviously, I don't think we would be where we are now. Um, yeah, some dark shit right there. Let's see. What were you guys talking about? Well, a lot of different stuff. Talked a bit about my meeting with the film director last night. Um, Talking about Jews that control the media, the government, things of this nature. JFK files coming out. Talking a little bit about my story and the characters in the story. And things of this nature. A little bit about my experience in Japan. The other day I did quite a deep dive on my experiences in Japan. I don't have I don't know what it's called, but it's sort of like a lot of Westerners are kind of like Japan crazy, everything from Japan is like, wow, oh my God, it's so amazing, so good, da, da, da. And I'm not like that. I don't have that. There's things about it that I like, but I don't have that nerdy thing. They're people. They have their flaws. There's parts about Japanese culture that I'll never relate to or understand, so to speak. I admire them in many ways. I wouldn't want to be Japanese. I think that's an interesting thing to point out. There's a lot about their lives in Japanese society that people don't know, how unhappy they are, basically, for various reasons, the structure of their society, their traditions. Um, it's not all terrible or whatever, but, better than a lot of other places for sure. Um, so yeah, that's the bulk of it. Um, but I still really haven't got your thoughts on the JFK files, though. I guess nobody has any thoughts on that. If you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm trying to think what I accomplished today. Today was not a very. I worked really, really hard on this publishing project. It was on my computer quite a lot today, and I got computer burnout. Um, I'm like 95% the way done. So I guess that's productive. Even though I'm mad at myself that I'm not done. um, but then I needed a nap, and I'm like, I hate taking naps because it feels like it's a waste of time. But if you need it, you need it. And like I was off today, so why? I don't know. This is just I'm very driven. I always have that voice that's like, get off your ass and go. Like, get out there, get going, get going. You got to do this, got to do that. Had a really great dinner with my son today, and had some really interesting conversation about some very important things. Interestingly, he asked me if I could choose to be reincarnated, or go to like nirvana or heaven. What would I do? And he was essentially trying to tell me that he would choose to be reincarnated. And that's a kind of a young man's way of thinking or something. But I was like, dude, you just stepped on the big tripwire, like I'm gonna really go, am I okay? Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm, overworked as usual, but I'm fine. And thank you for asking. I didn't join your live last time. I was deep sleep because I took wrong medicine. Um, yeah, I was only on for like 20 minutes last night. Then the director came over and we talked about his film. You can like the Japanese without being a weeb. Yeah, it's very simple. They're not. I don't know why they get some kind of special, like treatment above other people. That seems kind of weird to me, but whatever. Um, whatever. A weeb. What a great term. Don't be a weeb. But yeah, this good father-son time is very, very important, you know. Really, really important. So that was good. So there's some stuff in here that's kind of boring. I'm gonna leave that alone. Um, I don't know, what time is it here. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's getting on that time there. It's getting to be that time. It's about 11 o'clock my time. Got to work tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to hit the sack, Jack. Sorry about that, Mr. Martian. Just as you arrive, I'm leaving. Reincarnation is real. Death alone will not make you an angel of you. Correct. Yeah, I'm a firm believer in reincarnation, for sure. So that's not a question. I know why there are weebs. It is because Japan has fantastic foreign propaganda for its size. Huh, it's an interesting thing. I don't know, looking at like the manga anime industry as propaganda is kind of a interesting concept, you know. Let's see, Victorian says I turned into a Martian. That is deep. It's 9 p.m. in here. Oh, well, it's 11 p.m. over here. So, gang, thanks for joining me. I don't know if I was very interesting, but I appreciate your comment and sharing your thoughts and this and that with me. So I shall say sayonara. That's what anime is. Okay. All right. Sayonara, my friends. Have yourself a wonderful evening, day, whatever. Bye. Take a lot of rest. I will take a lot of rest. Yes. And God bless, and see you next time.